Hello, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Today I am continuing on with my goal of bringing people decks that are going to be good for climbing the ladder, and what deck is better than Lifegain, of course. But not just any Lifegain deck. I've actually been sitting on this one for a little while. A couple of weeks ago, it's been 3 or 4 weeks ago now, I think, I saw this post on Reddit by somebody known as A Alter Ego, and they said that for the second month, they got #1 Mythic in a row, this time with a different deck than the last time. This deck list is pretty interesting. It is something that is kind of split between an Angels deck and a Lifegain deck, which of course there is a lot of overlap there, so it makes sense to do that. So I actually haven't played this one. I've just been sitting on that image waiting for the right opportunity, and today I thought, you know what, let's give it a shot. So what is in the deck? Of course, we're playing 20 lands, not too bad. We are playing Starfield Shepherd, a card that actually I haven't played yet myself. This one, Warp 2. When this creature enters, search your library for a basic lands card or a creature card with mana value 1 or less, reveal it and put it into your hand, and then shuffle. Pretty cool. We are playing a pretty greedy mana base, but with the Shepherd, we can fix that. Then we do have some 1 CMC creatures to go and get. Of course, Hinterland Sanctifier and Leonin Vanguard. Lifegain staples in any deck. We're playing a couple copies of Authority of the Consuls because it's just such a great card in the meta nowadays. And then we have our typical Ajani's Pridemate, 4 of, Essence Channeler, 4 of. A little bit more removal in this deck. We're playing full 4 copies of Shelter by Ghost, of course, and 3 copies of Banishing Light. I have seen other Lifegain decks playing Banishing Light, and I guess they see a lot of success with it because it keeps popping up in other decks. And then we have some ways of drawing cards with Halia, Guided by Light. We can warp it in, we can put it in for 3, and if we gain 3 or more life in a single turn, we get to draw a card. Then we get our Angels. We are actually playing 2 copies of Resplendent Angel. This card was a massive all-star at one point in time when I used to play. Angels used to be a very big staple in Standard, and I guess if you are playing any Angels in Pioneer or other formats, you're going to have Resplendent Angel. It is a 3/3 for 3 flying, but it says at the beginning of each end step, if you gain 5 or more life this turn, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. And then we have an ability for 6 mana to give all of our creatures +2/+2 and life gain. The other angel in the deck is an all-star angel. It is the Exemplar of Light, 3/3 for 4 flying, but whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, and then whenever you put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on this creature, draw a card, but it only happens once a turn. Pretty sweet if we can get a draw on the opponent's turn with the Authority of the Consuls, if we have our Exemplar of Light on the field. Then we are playing 2 copies of Leyline of Hope, not going with the full 4 greedy ley lines. 2 should be enough, I guess. And this is the interesting card, Smile at Death. When I was reading over that list of cards that were in this deck, or that are in this deck, I got to Smile at Death, and I went, what is Smile at Death? What is this card? Well, it is a 5 CMC enchantment, and it says at the beginning of your upkeep, return up to 2 target creature cards with power 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put a +1/+1 counter on each of those creatures. Now, unfortunately, we cannot get any of our angels because our angels are all 3 power, and we also can't get Halia because she is also 3. But everybody knows that Ajani's Primate and Essence Channeler are lightning rods. These cards tend to find their way into our graveyard very quickly, so maybe the Smile at Death is going to be a good way to bring them out. I'm not fully sold on that card though, so we'll see how it actually plays. Hey, I'm not the #1 Mythic player. I never have been even close to that. Maybe there's something here that I don't know about. Anyways, we're going to jump into some games and see how this one actually performs in practice. It looks funky on paper, but maybe in practice it's going to surprise us. So let's head over to some games and try it out. All right, we got an interesting one for today's video, I think. #1 Mythic deck. And unfortunately, we only have 1 plains. Does the creator of this deck believe that you can draw another plains when there are only another land, when there are only 19 more in the deck and you do have your Starfield Shepherd? Otherwise, this hand looks a little bit heavy to me. I'm going to throw this one away. I don't think I could keep that possibly. This hand looking a lot better. We have our turn 1 Hinterland Sanctifier into the Ajani. I think you probably throw away maybe one of the planes, because we're going to go get another one with this Shepherd at some point, and hopefully get up to 4 mana for the Exemplar of Light. I think it's fine. Yeah, try it out. So, start of the video, if you guys can continue to help the channel grow, do subscribe up. I would appreciate that, especially since I'm going to be suffering through what appears to be the mirror match right off the bat. And also, let me know down in the comments what you think about this makeup of the deck and what the creator was thinking when they came up with this one. There's some secret sauce here, and maybe it's going to work out. The opponent is on a little bit of a unique deck by the looks of things. Hinterland Sanctifier into the Vengeful Blood Witch. So if things start getting removed, we start to get pinged with the Blood Witch. All right, another Blood Witch to follow it up. We need a draw would be good here. Sorry, a land draw would be very good here. But if we don't, we have the backup of the Shepherd. And I think I do have to warp in the Shepherd. So kind of cool that we are going to be still triggering the Hinterland Sanctifier. And then we can go and grab the planes that will play out for the turn. Our Johnny gets up to a 4/4, and I don't really feel comfortable attacking in. Well, I suppose I... So is this... This deck is not a Lifegain deck, by the looks of things. This is an Aristocrats deck that is also playing Hinterland Sanctifier for some reason. So I have to assume that they probably have a Raise from the Past. I think that's what the card's called. Then again, they're not attacking in, so maybe they don't actually have that. Okay, we will play another Shepherd to the field. We're slowly getting up to our 4 mana. We're doing this the hard way. I imagine this is correct. We'll play the planes, and then I do have the Shelter by Ghost, which I could throw onto the Ajani. It would be a 6/5. They do not have 5 damage, so I can attack in pretty favorably and start gaining a little bit of life. I think I'm probably okay with this. And then we get to get rid of probably one of the Blood Witches. I'm more afraid of the Blood Witch. I don't know what's going on. The Zora plus Hinterland Sanctifier synergy is throwing me off. Of course, they throw the Infestation Sage in front of the Pridemate, but we're going to go up to a 7/6 because we are gaining some life, gaining quite a bit of life. And if we end up finding the Leyline of Hope, we can slam it down, and we are at a life total. We'll probably be staying at this life total where we will be able to get +2/+2 on all of our creatures. If they can't get rid of the Pridemate this turn, we're going to throw down the Resplendent Angel, I think. And a Requisition Raid. That's crazy. Okay. Okay, somebody's cooking over there. I was going to say I could slam in with the Pridemate and then gain a whole bunch of life and start making angels. Instead, I think I just go out with the Exemplar of Life, trigger the Sanctifier. We get a card draw here. Okay. I'm going to have these huge Exemplar of Lights to start swinging. You know what? Why not? I'm not going to be blocking. I'm at 25 life. They're top decking. I'm going to be slamming down another Angel next turn. I'm going to be drawing a ton of cards each turn. I think I'm probably fine. Quite the unique matchup, though, I got myself into right off the bat here. I would not have expected this. Essence Channeler is good, but I gotta start drawing cards and hitting lands. Now I might be a little bit more apprehensive about sending the Ajani's Pridemate in. Now I'm going to be gaining even more life, though. It's a 10/10. So if it is going to be a 10/10, how much damage do they have on the field? They have 9 damage. That's not enough. So I may as well start trying to chip away at their life total. I think it's fine. So the 2/2 goes in front of the Exemplar of Light, and then another insect pops out. But if they don't find, they got to find something absolutely bonkers off the top of their deck. Their graveyard is looking pretty good, and they are getting a lot of triggers on these Vengeful Blood Witches, but that's only going to go so far. That's a full attack Did not expect that. So I'm just gonna put, maybe it's probably a I give up attack, I think. Or could you imagine a Day of Judgment? I wouldn't put it past. Okay, I raised the past. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. That's a pretty good top deck from the opponent. Gotta hand it to them. And we're just hitting our... we're not gaining a ton of life, honestly. This I could put in, and this is going to allow me to go and get a little bit more life. And then there's a good chance that I'm going to find a Plains. I'm going to be drawing 2 cards here, right? So let's Shepherd to grab the Leonin Vanguard, I think. We'll grab a 1 CMC creature. And I'm sure I'm going to hit a land. A Plains. It needs to be a Plains. Ooh, not a Plains. It's a land. It's a starting down. Oh, no. Okay, but we do get more life. Boom, boom, boom. And we can start attacking in with the flyers. Okay. They potentially could find something pretty nasty. We're at 16 life. Voice of Victory is a good card. They don't have a sack out, thankfully. So I suppose we will start off with the Leonin Vanguard. This is going to trigger our Exemplars of Light. And I think this is when the game we win, right? Yeah, especially with double... Oh, Smile at Death. Imagine that. Especially with double Shelter by Ghost, we can take the card that is kind of scaring us. We're going to gain so much more life. And what can they do from this point? Especially with this Authority of the Consuls, it's going to be triggering the Exemplars of Light now. Do they even make it through this turn? Can we attack all out? That's enough, and they have 5 blockers, so no point in attacking in the ground, and not quite enough damage, down to 1. Opponent holds on. What is this deck? Is this deck actually? To be fair, the opponent playing something a little bit unique. Okay, these come in, gain us life. So many triggers. Oh, I was listening to one of the Goldfish podcasts, and I'm pretty sure they mentioned that Lifegain is a miserable experience for their editors because, well, of this. I'll put the Pridemate and the Hinterland Sanctifier in front of... No, I'm not going to double block that one poor token. We'll do this. Okay. What did they top deck? Nothing. Okay, so that was just a all-out games over attack. That's a lot of power coming out of this deck. See a couple more? I really did not expect this deck to run that smoothly. We do have a turn 1 Authority and the Ley Line, but again, we're only 1 land for this Shepherd, and we are on the draw. On the draw is good, but we don't have 1 drops or 2 drops. You gotta throw this away, right? This looks better. Okay. We will keep the Halia. Do I get rid of the Banishing Light? No. We'll get rid of one of the Exemplars. We'll put the Hope onto the field, and then hopefully we find a 1 CMC creature. That's what our goal is. If we can find the 1 CMC creature, we can warp in the Halia, and then go from there. So, because that's the case, I think I'm not going to play anything out this turn, and I'm going to wait to draw a card with Halia, because I think getting up to 4 mana for this Exemplar of Light is going to be the key to this one. The opponent is on probably mono red, could be Boros Burn. It must be really hard. I think when people start the ladder, probably you start seeing a lot of, in my case, I do see a lot of aggro decks and a lot of red aggro decks. But also tons of people are playing these types of decks, and I don't know how they keep up with them. Okay, we hit the Plains. That's cool. I think probably it's just... what am I saying? I don't have any other choices. I'm sitting here like, maybe I'll play out the Banishing Light. You can't play out the Banishing Light, dummy. So this is going to gain us 4 life if I understand how mechanics work. Yep. And end of turn, Halia disappears. We draw an Ajani's Pridemate. And then next turn, we can Plains plus Halia do that all over again, unless they remove something. And then in which case, I guess it's probably just going to be Banishing Light on the Slick Shot Show-Off to try to mitigate some of this damage that's coming in. And then we can start building up our life total once again. Yeah. All right. Banishing Light. Get rid of the old Slick Shot Show-Off. One of the best cards in the game. Man, this card, when they printed this thing, ooh, somebody was cooking. A little bit awkward here. Missing the land. And if I put out the Halia, I feel like the Halia is just going to eat it. But I don't think I have much of a choice. So we'll send her out. She's at least gaining us 2 life. It's not the worst thing. And if it ends up surviving this turn, which I'm not very hopeful about, there it is. So she gained us 5 life. I'll take that. You know, Lightning Strike doesn't hit face, and all that good stuff. We kind of in a weird position where not actually being able to trigger our life gain. But they're down to 2 cards. They're flooding out a little bit. They only have the rock face villages, which is not the most threatening thing. And if an Ajani's Pridemate can make it through this turn, maybe the Leonin Vanguard triggering can happen. Okay, we're getting a little bit roped here by Kobe. Not a big deal. I understand you play mono red and then you run into some kind of nonsense life gain deck. Witchstalker Frenzy, they're down to 1 card. And they have the Geek 2 Lava Runner, which, send it in. What do we want? We want maybe a land off the top would be okay to get the Exemplar Light onto the field, or a 1 CMC creature would be absolutely dynamite. You know what would be really good is the Shepherd off the top. Okay, not any of those cards, but I guess we're going to play out an Essence Channeler and just hope that the opponent has run out of interaction. They got 1 more card. It's probably not a land. And we are sitting at 14 life, which is not that cozy. There's no point. I don't think there's anything they could do, but there's no point in attacking with the Vanguard right now. What am I going to, okay, they're out of cards. So, we got to find something, though. Our deck has kind of puttered out. I got to play the Essence Channeler. So, our starting town comes in tapped. I'm not going to be blocking anything next turn. We need this Exemplar of Light to hit and to start gaining life. Okay. So, from this point, I think we can probably take back this game. Is this bad? No, this is better. 100% better. So, still not great, but we are going up to 8, and we have a 4/4 blocker, and the Sheltered by Ghost is going to seal it for us, right? And they know that. They probably drew a land, and next turn we were going to just get enough land to start rocketing up. All right, even when the deck is struggling, it does stuff. Interesting. I'm really in disbelief that this deck is working, to be perfectly honest. I've had this screenshot. Actually, I'm kind of curious when I first took this screenshot, because it feels like it has been quite a while. October 10th. Oh my god. By the time this video comes out, PV will be banned. October 10th. And I've been sitting on this list. Once in a while, I'll open my photo album, whatever you call it, and I'll look at it and be like, that deck is interesting. All right. Let's try Ajani's Pridemate. I have to assume that they have interaction to hit the Pridemate. They left 2 mana open. They looked like they wanted a block out of the Hinterland Sanctifier, so I don't think I'm brave enough to go in. Wow, nothing, opponent? This might be a game where we see Smile at Death doing something. Oh, stock up. Okay, so an opponent on Izzet, probably Izzet, Cauldron, VV, somebody's getting their last hurrahs in, probably can deal with a big Ajani's Pridemate very easily. So we're not in a fantastic position, but I think if I put enough of a wide presence onto the field and start attacking at all angles, they're going to have a really hard time dealing with what we're bringing in. No block from the Otter is very surprising to me. And we do have 2 pieces of removal, the Vanishing Light and the Shelter by Ghost. What is that? Okay, a Halia. So, it's going to be Halia and Leonin Vanguard, and we're just going to try to gain as much life as we can. No way of drawing a card yet. Sure. We're also not going to be able to get up to the 5 mana on, or 5 life gained on this. Oh no, we are. We're exactly 5. Oh my god, it's perfect. So if they don't have any interaction, we're going to be making 4/4 angels and drawing a card. Sure. I think you send the team. At this point, 2 mana open, they have a slick shot, we got to put a ton of pressure on them. We'll be at 26 life. I don't think they can kill us in 1 turn with a plotted slick shot show off. But we will only have the Leonin Vanguard back on defense. They go down to 2. Okie doke. Oh no, we'll have an angel as well. And we're going to gain more life. Oh my god, this deck. What is going on? I don't know. I'm kind of like flustered at how things are working out. Like I've said multiple times, I didn't expect this. No, into the Flood Maw. But they used a spell that they could have used on, well, they did use that early. They must have a bunch of ways of pumping this slick shot show off. Do they have 28 damage? Is this how I die? It's so possible. They have to get up to 14. If they have, that's 14. Opponent is a literal god. Wow. Coming, we don't even know this. Who's this hero? What's this hero's name? We have no idea. What? It's crazy. I guess, didn't they had... Oh. Well, I guess we got, hey, great performance from our deck. We got Exodia'd. I suppose maybe I should have done the Sheltered by Ghost, and I could have gained even more life with the Johnny's Primate. I think there was probably a way out of this. I didn't need to play... Last turn, what did I do? I played the Halia and the Leonin Vanguard. What I should have done was just Halia into the Sheltered by Ghost. Pilot error. But who would have thought that... you know what? They did have the Into the Flood Maw held back. So even if I did try to... Yeah, let's Authority. Even if I did try to put the Shelter by Ghost on something, they would have bounced that thing. So it wouldn't have worked out. Turns out that sometimes they just have it, right? Okay, the opponent. What are you up to over there? I think I'm okay putting out the Leonin Vanguard. It might eat a... What is it? Oh my god, I'm forgetting. 2 CMC. Boom, boom. Not a shock. The other shock. The new shock. If they don't have anything, though... this Johnny's Primates doesn't get triggered by the Leonin Vanguard, so that's a little bit awkward. What do I want to see? Land, just get up to the Exemplar. A Razorkin Needlehead. So we gain 2 life, but we are going to lose a life. So I could hit the Needlehead with the Banishing Light, but I feel like the Banishing Light probably has to be saved for a Screaming Nemesis. The Needlehead, whatever, it does 1 damage. They're going to be gaining me enough life with the combination of Leyline of Hope and Authority of the Consuls that I don't really need to worry about it. And if they don't take out this Ajani's Primate soon, it's going to be tough for them to deal with it once it gets up to 5-6 mana if they're playing Boros Burn. They decide to go in. We're not blocking. Take 2 damage. Not a big deal. But we are down to 2 cards. I think they're really debating whether or not they want to put out a creature because of this Authority of the Consuls. Ooh. Alright. Let's try it. I have to imagine they're going to zap the Ajani's Pridemate, right? Oh, what? They let it go through? Wow, 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 wow. I did not expect that. They don't have flash. They take 6 damage to the dome. And now they have to deal with our 3 creatures so that these Vanguards don't keep triggering. And they have to deal with the Authority of the Consul. That's triggering, making our Pridemate even bigger. They're going to shut off our life gain. Okay. Okay, I like where the opponent's head's at. But we're still at 20 life. Okay. Do I Exemplar of Light so that I have... Yeah, right. You do this. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to let it go. We're going to get these up to 2/2s. And we're going to swing in for 6 damage. I have to imagine that they block one of them. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah, okay. There it is. And now we play out our Exemplar of Light. They have the Screaming Nemesis. They're not going to do 19 bits of damage to us. And we also have the Banishing Light to, I don't know, figure out, to get rid of the Screaming Nemesis if they hold it back as a blocker. I think we're probably pretty good, even though we can't gain life. Screaming... Nova Hellkite's good. It gets rid of our Vanguard, but it also grows our Pridemate. No, it doesn't. What am I saying? Our life gains offline. And that's another tap blocker. So we get the mono-red, not mono-red, Boros Burn player. It was close, though. Them holding up the Screaming Nemesis with the card that I'm forgetting the name of, once again, even though I just saw it, Burst Lightning. Pretty heads-up play by the opponent. They knew that they had to shut off this life gain, especially with Leyline of Hope with Authority of the Consuls on the field. Okay, 3-1 currently. We have 3 more games to go. And you know what? I just took a little bit of a break there. Don't like this hand. And I was thinking about this deck, and I gotta say, it's pretty fun. That's what's sticking out to me. Now, I don't know what to throw away here. We have the Essence Channeler with the Leon and Vanguard, and if we find another land and they don't have any removal, we can have a Resplendent Angel. But the Shelter by Ghost is always such a good card. Leyline of Hope does help. We can't really... Don't do that. Can't get rid of these 3. So it's kind of... To me, it's kind of between the Resplendent Angel and the Shelter by Ghost. And I think it's got to be the Resplendent Angel simply because I don't know if I'll ever be able to cast it. Another mono red player. Okie dokie. Well, okay, fine. Authority of the Consuls can slow down what they're doing and gain us a ton of life. Hopefully they don't have... Am I going to be brave and run out the Essence Channeler right away? Or do I just... You know what? Let's go with the Leon and Vanguard first. I think it's... I'm kind of getting the vibe that they don't have a Burst Lightning. Maybe. They always seem to have at least one Burst Lightning. I've learned the name of it now because they traumatized last turn. But Scorching Shot instead, 5 damage. I would rather that go on to my poor little Leonin Vanguard than my Essence Channeler. Now, I could... no, I was going to say I could wait till next turn to put out the planes and do Essence Channeler plus Shelter by Ghost, and then I'll have a little bit of protection for the Essence Channeler, but I think it's probably fine just to risk throwing it out. It means any creatures that they put onto the field gonna make things a little bit awkward for them. They have 2 Scorching Shots. Alright. Well, now I'm at a point where I need a little bit of help. And help has not come. Smile at Death would be kind of interesting right now. We could bring back both of these creatures. Instead, they have the Soulstone Sanctuary, but we do gain 2 life here. We are taking a ton of damage. Double striking. Brastronauts now, and okay, well, sometimes I think there are games where you just can't win, right? The game where you had 2 threats, your opponent had 2 scorching shots, and now you have 6 mana. We'll give it one more draw. Do we even get one more draw? I love that. Soulstone Sanctuary buffing up the Bastronaut for exact lethal. Hey, that was a good performance from that mono red player. You can't complain about that. Man, I really wish Arena had a way of seeing what the top deck card was. I'd love to know. All right, hopefully no more of that. I just came in saying, oh, it feels fun. I didn't even play the deck that game. Okay, again, another sketch one. You know what? That first game where we found that angel that allows us to go and get the planes or our 1 CMC cards really makes this deck a lot better, and I haven't seen that card since those first turns, and it's really noticeable. Really noticeable. We do get to go out with the Hinterland Sanctifier if we can trigger the Essence Channeler. That's going to be nice. Okay, we are against everyone's favorite Kavaro. And as I don't know how it's possible, but I've never seen a bringer of the last gift not find its way directly into the opponent's graveyard off of the first Overlord of the Baelmerk. And I know that's a blatant lie, and I definitely have seen them whiff, but it sure feels like every single time this card finds its way directly into the graveyard. Town Greeter allows them to put a land into their hand, and they have a Kavaro and an Awaken of the Honored Dead there. Well, I gotta do everything that I can do, and I think if this is the matchup, there's not a whole lot of playing around it. Like, what am I gonna do if they reanimate this entire board with Kavaro this turn? Reanimate their entire graveyard with Kavaro this turn. That's my normal reaction these days to the turn 4 Kavaro. You did it. Hey, whoa, wait, I thought they had more. Oh, okay, it's not too bad. Okay. No, it is. Yeah, okay, that's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for the next thing. There should be more. Yep. Okie doke. Well, Vader, you did it. All right, our 7th and maybe final game. Last time I did 8, I believe. We might do the same thing. Hey, Smile at Death. But I mean, you can't keep this hand, right? Like, there's no... What do you do? Play out Hinterland Sanctifier and just wait? I don't think so. Looks a little bit better. They're not great, though. So throw that away. We haven't been saying hello either. I've been neglecting my courtesy. The opponent may be also on Lifegain, so let's see if we can get out ahead of them. Next turn, we can warp in Halia and Shelter by Ghost away. Maybe they're a Johnny's Pridemate. Cool. And that'll put us at a pretty good advantage because we're going to be able to draw a card and get a little bit of damage in. And now we have the Exemplar Light to follow things up, so maybe looking good. Okay, scoop that up. They're going to have a hard time dealing with the Ward 2. But if they have their Sheltered by Ghost, they could also take our Sheltered by Ghost. Leyline of Hope for future turns. Okay, just in a Johnny's Pridemate, not a big deal. Attack. Okay. Well, that wasn't very exciting. But you know what? I guess we had some pretty cool matches. That's good enough. It's a fine way to end. Okie dokie. So there's definitely something magical behind this configuration, and I think I might end up playing it a little bit more in my free time. Do leave a comment down below to ask if I did that, and maybe I'll get back to you with some updated results. But currently we went 7-4, and the games that we lost, when you think about them, we lost against Kavaro having a turn 4 Kavaro combo. What can you do? They hit their optimal draw, and that's it. We lost to Is It doing 28 damage to us, or more points of damage. I can't remember how much it was in a single turn. They absolutely had all the pieces that they need. It was also a god draw. And then what else did we lose to? Oh, we lost to the mono red deck, which our deck didn't do anything, and they also kind of had like an ideal draw. So considering that those three matchups were against opponents that just had it, it's going to happen. Nobody's 100% win rate. I don't know. The deck felt super solid, way more solid than I originally expected going into this video. I'm still not 100% sure about Smile at Death. I kind of feel like, yeah, it's cute and it could be very good for some of these grindier matchups, but we're playing best of one. Best of one here. You just put all your pieces onto the field, and there are once in a while games where you get nice back and forth, but I think for the most part, you just want to exert your effort. So maybe if you are playing this deck high Mythic ranking, Smile at Death makes a whole lot more sense. However, if you are down in Platinum or Gold, or even climbing through Diamond into Mythic, I feel like adding one more Vanguard, one more Sanctifier makes a whole lot more sense than having these two Smile at Death. Otherwise, I think everything else in the deck is cool. Leyline of Hope, fantastic in those games when you have it in your opening hand, but you don't really want to have all four copies in your deck because sometimes you just top deck a Leyline of Hope and it's such a dead card. The Angel package of Starfield Shepherd, very impressed with this card. I want to see it played a lot more. We only saw it in that first game, but oh boy, I definitely discounted this card, and I think it's quite powerful. And also another reason why I would want to go up one more copy with the Sanctifier and the Vanguard. Also, kind of impressed with Resplendent Angel. It's obviously a powerful card. Anybody who played Angels or played around the time when Angels was really popping in Standard knows how powerful Resplendent Angel is. And then the rest of the deck is just what it is, right? Banishing Light is great, Authority of the Consuls is great, and you have everything else in the deck that's good. So, the creator of this deck, one more time, pop it up there. There was something really magical behind the creation of this deck. Good job, and I'm very impressed. I think it's really cool. I wonder if this player can get to Mythic for a third season in a row, and maybe with something different. Anyways, that's it for this one. Do let me know what you think about this configuration. Let me know what you think about Smile at Death, and that's it for this one. Take care for now. Sarange ipana, and bye-bye.